Okay, nice to see my Samsung tablet camera's working better than it was earlier. So I just got this in the mail yesterday. Um, this is a He-Man figurine for the Pop Go for the Fun Go Pop series. But this is actually ties in with the Funko Fusion video game that came out a few months ago, where these guys actually used to work. I think they worked on some of the Lego games. So it's very similar to gameplay. So anyway, this with these Funko Fusion tie-ins, you get these. They give you like a it's kind of like a gotcha thing, like in Japan. These were popular, I guess. You buy these like boxes with characters in them, but you don't know what character you're gonna get. So I'm trying to look at my camera. My camera's just like I think my camera. Okay. Try to do this video before I go home. So a few minutes before I leave out. So anyway, the Gacha series, basically you buy these boxes. You see a character that you want, but they'll have these boxes. So when you buy the character boxes, you don't know what character is inside the box. So it's a surprise. That's why they call it gacha. And they have these gacha machines that are popular. So this is the same thing, basically. You get the character, and you get the code for this game, for the Funko Fusion game, but you don't know exactly what character is going to be you're going to get. And there's some really cool characters I saw that I would love to get to be able to play as in the game. So I've been playing this game for, almost. I didn't buy it on day one. I think I waited a few days because I was kind of going back and forth. I mean, I love the Funko figures. I love Lego. I really enjoyed the Skylanders series. So, it was like, my destiny to get the game. And I should have waited a little longer because the prices dropped considerably. And I hate that. When I bought that game, it was 59 or 49. Now it's down to like $20. But a lot of times I've noticed when you buy the game now, they try to get you to get these bundles for like $39 or something, $29, $39. And the extra figures you can buy, like from Wicked, you can buy characters from Mega Man. Some of these packs that you buy for the DLC, it's just the characters. It's not like a level or anything, which is like it just feels kind of like could have gave you like a level or something. But sometimes I feel like the companies are nickel and diming us with the DLC. So anyway, so the concept for the game is basically you run around and you play as these different Funko characters that are like parodies of well-known licenses like Jurassic Park, The Thing, The Office. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that they have in there. I mean, there's Scott Pilgrim, Umbrella Academy. Some of this stuff is like, it's almost like, it's some people say these are like obscure, lesser known. Maybe they couldn't get bigger licenses. I don't know. There's Funko figures for pretty much everything that you can imagine for anybody. So I would imagine the licenses for some of those things probably wasn't easy to get. So it's just like, so it's kind of like a kiddie game when you play and they shoot the characters and they just blow up or whatever. It's not kind of like Lego where they kind of break into pieces, but not exactly. So it's kind of like when you play the game, it's like, I don't know, the audience that they were going for. This is not exactly an easy game. I definitely think that it's harder than the Lego games, the difficulty. But Funko, if they were to utilize every license that they've had to make all these figures, I mean, there's a considerable amount of licenses that they could draw from. 'Cause, I mean, you can think of anybody, and you can, there's a Funko figure of them probably. I have like a Godzilla, um, Black Panther, and I have some limited edition ones. I know I have one limited edition Satchwatch. I'm really big into cryptozoology, and completely fascinated by Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, all that. So anyway, so I might have about 12 of these things by now, maybe more. I don't know, maybe 20, because I put most of them in storage. I think I only have one out, and it's because I didn't get a box for it when I bought it at a convention. It's a Funko Pop figure of what's his name? God, it's the villain, the Flash villain, and he's got like a black costume. Doctor Zoom, I think it is, Professor Zoom or something like that. But it was like, I guess he's one of like Flash's. I thought the figurine looked really really cool, and they didn't have a box for it when I bought it, and I think they gave me like a little discount. I think I bought it. I feel like I was. There's a big warehouse here in it's not in the Los Angeles area, but it's a big warehouse that's been converted into basically, it's like when you walk in there, it's like going to a comic book convention, because they have all these it's Frankensons or something like that. They have all these figures and comics and things, and it's just like, if you're into like nerd culture, you probably lose your mind, and you probably find anything that you're looking for in there, or they can order it. It's a bunch of vendors in there, and apparently it's been around for a while. But it's a huge space that you just walk around in there and just spend hours looking at the comic books and things that they have on sale. So I've been playing the game, and I guess originally there were a lot of bugs with this game when it came out. With this game, I have here my MSI Claw, so I have it installed on the MSI Claw. This MSI Claw is the higher end version. It's just running the Z1. Same thing that the MSI, the Asus ROG Ally originally came out with two models. There's a Z1 and there's Z1 Extreme, and this is basically the Z1 Extreme, but it's Intel based. It's not AMD. So I don't want to get too into all the AMD and Intel differences. I mean, I'm still learning a lot about all this stuff, but apparently Intel is supposed to be more power efficient, I think. Maybe not consumption of battery. I think that's the difference. But I mean, AMD is the most popular chipset that people are using now. But Intel is kind of coming up with like newer chips. So I'm getting ahead of myself. But the game runs really good on this MSI Claw. Just like all the other handhelds that have come out recently, the battery life is an issue, and I had to buy like a battery for my Legion Go. The battery life, they just kind of skimped on it. And there's a new version of the MSI Claw coming out. They've already announced it. I guess it's coming out this month. The MSI Claw A1 or something. And it's got like a really, badass battery inside of it. And the Asus ROG Ally X, pretty much, they did the same thing. They fixed the problem with the in the Asus ROG Ally, they put the card reader. All right, where is it at? Oh my God! They put the card reader in a bad place. It was right next to where the exhaust vent is. So my micro SD card slot does not work on my ROG Ally. I got like the lower end one. Just gives me really good performance when I plug it in. I mean, it plays everything pretty. I mean, I don't have anything that it really struggles to run on the lower end model of the Asus ROG Ally I have, except for maybe the I think it's Wukong doesn't run very well on that. So if I get anything else, it's gonna have to have at least 24. Probably, I would prefer 32, somewhere 32 or 24 gigs of RAM. I think 64 might be too much because these handhelds and laptops that have that much RAM. I mean, these things are expensive. I mean, but I want to get something later this year. It's my New Year's resolution is to get me a more powerful laptop later this year. So I'm just saving up for that. But I want to get something that I won't have to run into like performance issues. So I noticed that this game, this MSI Claw Z with the Z1, it actually does it performs pretty well. You know, the only issue is the battery life. That's it. Um, Gets pretty hot sometimes too, I gotta admit. So I was playing this game, the Femco Fusion, I think a couple of weeks ago. I got kind of far, and I started playing again, and my saves didn't. For some reason, I had to play this whole level all over again. I'm like, oh my god, I hate that. Sometimes when you play games on Steam and probably Epic or whatever, if you use another laptop or another computer, you got to make sure that you are able to like sync your saves up to the cloud. So when I get to work and I play games on my devices, they have firewalls and things up. So sometimes my saves, I'd be really careful because sometimes you can even like overwrite your saves, your recent saves. It's just, man, it's the downside of digital age. So anyway, I don't mean to ramble, but so they give me this code in this game, in this box for these characters that tie in with the game, and I don't know what character. So I want to redeem this code and try not to damage the box. I don't know why it's so important to keep the boxes. So I didn't really take them out and play with them, but nice to display. When I was a kid, I used to have all these figurines, and I would rearrange them every day before I would leave to go to work. So they call it dioramos. Can't say it right, but it's basically like you have a set, a scene you create. So you can have like you have your Avengers characters fighting the X-Men. You know, you can change them in different positions, and you know, some games that you do that. And the Godzilla game that I have lets you can make your own scenes. And anyway, so here is the code. And this is the figure, the He-Man figure. This is like they had some figures that, you know, the only one that I saw that I really thought was really cool and wasn't too expensive. I think this was like $10, $10.99 for He-Man. He-Man is pretty cool. There's a He-Man level. It's a little puzzle heavy, but you know, so this is the code, and I guess I have to scratch this off to get the code to redeem it. So I'm hoping and praying that I get something really cool. Maybe the character that I like. So I remember there was a character I wanted from McDonald's, this Happy Meal that they had, and I got really lucky. I went back and they actually had the character. So yeah, you know, He-Man is actually in the game. It's not like you are unlocking him. You know, you just get the figure. It's not like it's a special He-Man. You know, it'd be really cool if they did do something like that when you get the figurines. It'd be like something different. You know, an incentive. You know, like maybe battle scarred He-Man or something. I don't know. Maybe super powered He-Man. Maybe you could jump higher when you use the figure. You scan it. Because the Skylanders and Disney Universe and the Lego Dimension games and even the Amiibos, you know, Nintendo really didn't take it as far, but you had this thing and they called it a portal. It was really just a stand. And the little figurines, they would have like little, the figurines had like a computer chip in it. But when you put the figure on the stand, you activate some feature, or maybe you just put the figure on the stand and the character appears in the game, because that's what Skylanders was all about. That was the thing. Toys for Bob, which is now owned by Microsoft. So I'm hoping that one day we get another Skylanders game because it was a pretty cool property. You know, it was really nice. Looking forward to like a yearly thing, like they do with Call of Duty. Every year they would come out with a new Skylanders game. So Skylanders is like, kind of like a Lego, kind of game. You real cute characters. You run around and you interact with stuff. There was some exclusive characters that you could only get at GameStop. At you might be Best Buy. You can go and get certain characters. Walmart might have had some. Amazon may have had limited edition Amazon versions, and then there were like standalone. Um, when they did the Lego Dimensions game, I know there were like different. Later they introduced more DLC stuff like Ghostbuster levels. But the cool thing was like with the Lego Dimensions game, you actually had to put the characters together, and then you put them. Then they come inside the game. But you had to put the portal together too, which was like that. That was an ordeal. So I remember taking the Lego pieces out and looking at them and just like laying them on the table. I was like, oh my god, it's like a million pieces. Took me maybe a couple of hours to put them all together, but it was satisfying when it was all done. The cool thing, when they have all these licenses, they can do all these weird crossovers. You had Sonic the Hedgehog, Scooby Doo, um, you know, and the Skylanders. I do remember the Skylanders game. Just you had exclusive Sony characters like Spyro. I think Spyro. No, I think it was Crash Bandicoot. It was like a Crash. That was Crash Bandicoot was like a Sony exclusive. But it's kind of funny now. Microsoft actually owns Crash Bandicoot. But what a turn of events! I remember Crash Bandicoot was a Sony mascot. So anyway, it is 6:30 almost. I am gonna redeem this code and see who I unlock. So I gotta unpause this game, I guess. Or maybe I just go to the Steam store. I don't know how to do it. But there's like some kind of like tells me it's a site to go to. So yeah, it's gonna be another adventure for me. Hopefully I get a character that I like. And I'll do another video later, some gameplay. I might take my MSI Claw home with me so I can play the level and get further. I did say that today was going to be a Nintendo Switch day. I try to alternate between my consoles and systems, so nothing can be left out. Plus, like my backlog in Switch games is just, honestly, my backlog in all my games is pretty crazy. I won't say all my games, but I have a pretty crazy backlog. I've gotten to the point now where I really need to start thinking seriously about like not buying games for a while, or maybe just like sticking to like one genre. I've been thinking about superhero type games, maybe superhero games, and not too many of them come out. Maybe Lego games, but then again, maybe the exclusives is that's a good idea too. Not like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo are really churning out a lot of like exclusives now. It's just games take so long to make. But it really would be nice if we did have another Halo game. It just seems really strange we haven't gotten another Halo game. Nothing from Gears of War. Sony's been sitting on franchises. We didn't get an Order Part 2. So yeah, I don't know. They've really been kind of slowing down with the exclusives. I feel like that's something to talk about for another video. Um, Later this week, I'm going to be going to the games expo here in Los Angeles. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to go, and I'll do a video of that. So look forward to that later this week. Probably have something, depending on how long it takes to get everything edited. I'm thinking maybe Sunday or Monday. But I'll take a bunch of pictures anyway. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see some new games and some new systems coming out, some new laptops, something, I really, really want to get me an Alienware laptop, but they are so damn expensive. So I don't know. I know I can get a cheaper laptop that can do the same thing. I'm just paying for the name, but I always wanted Alienware. So anyway, I'm gonna get ready and redeem this thing and get out of here and go home so I can go to sleep, because I didn't really get a lot of sleep yesterday. So this is me signing out for now. I'll be back later with some gameplay with whoever I unlock. Pray for me.